Hello, everyone. Welcome to your latest edition of Neo Reality WrestleVerse. And I am your host, Neo Reality, Eric Brown. Also, I'm wearing the Undertaker Snoop Dogg shirt, so don't sue me. Also, to make things matter and more complicated, if you're wondering why I'm wet and everything, it's because I just got out of the shower, put on clothes, and got ready to do this. So let's get into the New Year Smash event of AEW. AEW, and we're going to talk about the main event. There was a big thing I wanted to talk about, but that got canned because I wanted to talk about it for the Hard to Kill event. Looking forward to that. I was initially going to review the whole show, but I was like, man, I don't want to. At the same time, I do. But at the same time, I want to talk about all the Kenny Omega stuff or the Impact crossover event they're doing to happen with the Hard to Kill event. So we're going to go ahead and make a super size, hopefully, recap on everything. So that means we talk about Impact, Dynamite, and Hard to Kill in one video. So. Brian Cage and Darby Allin. They've been going at war with each other for, honestly, it feels like forever now. Their feud, I believe someone mentioned this. Let me get the Twitter stuff ready. But it was, here's the best way to describe this match. It is what you would expect if, say, we had Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar had it originally gone down when they first did the match, when they did the match when they were supposed to do the match at SummerSlam, and so this match is just brutality after brutality. Like Darby Allin's bleeding profusely. He gets thrown into the table like and crashes into the table. Like Brian Cage is just absolutely murdering Darby Allin at this moment, and I'm thinking to myself, could Brian Cage actually be winning in a Brock Lesnar like fashion? Like I actually was on the edge of my seat on that, and Darby Allin's bleeding profusely. He's bleeding like a stuffed pig, and callback, and but like Darby Allin is and then Darby Allin's trying to make as much fun as possible, but Brian Cage is like, I'm gonna murder this guy. And I thought the ref was actually gonna stop the match and give the victory to Brian Cage, where Brian Cage just been pounding and pounding and pounding, left and right. And Taz is in commentary and enjoying every moment of it. And this is a match that has been apparently building since if I'm correct, Double or Nothing. So it's been nearly a year. In a few months it would have been a year. But yeah, this has been a match. This is the big culmination match, I believe, to what has been building up since Double or Nothing, where Brian Cage debuted and tossed Darby Allin and basically destroyed him essentially. And that's impressive, isn't it? This storyline began at Double or Nothing last year, and it's just absolutely insane that they got to that point, and I'm just impressed, honestly. But to see that Brian Cage's storyline with Darby Allin start all the way back to the glory days. That is Double or Nothing 2020, and no one wants to remember 2020, but we have to be reminded eventually. And it's just pandemonium. It's chaos in this match. Uh, And then Brian Cage, after he tries so hard to put down Darby Allin, Darby Allin's in the I have no feel no pain. Brooding means no pain. And he's just getting his ass handed to him. It's like Brock Lesnar beating Daniel Bryan up during the first part of the Survivor Series match. But then Darby Allin, when Brian Cage wants to go get the steel steps to, further murder him, uh, Darby Allin finally retaliates, biting the fingers of Brian Cage, just trying to get a gnawing at him, trying to get some damage in, and then is able to kick Brian Cage onto the steel steps, and it looks so softlandish. Like that's I don't know how to describe it, but like yeah, yeah, he tries to go ahead And there's a moment where he gets powerbombed by Cage earlier beforehand, where Darby Allin just does this, I'm not quitting, and then goes down. And yeah, but like, yeah, it just got a little uncomfortable at times. It's not as uncomfortable as the supposed murder attempt that Vince had against Daniel Bryan at the first half. Like, how dare you go and defy my orders and everything. But yeah, and then Brian Cage. Okay, so when Brian Cage landed on the steel steps, it felt soft landish. Like he landed like bop, and it's not like oh and all that nonsense. And then to hell in order to fix that little issue, Darby Allin gets, anyways, to make a long story short, Darby Allin gets and does a coffin drop on him on the steel steps, and they crash to the ring, and it looks like it's going to get to a tie, but they get back in the ring before the count's up, and Darby slaps Cage, and he jumps into a bear hug, and then bites him again. He gets his belt and ties up Cage's legs and flips it down. A perfect, brilliant strategy. Reminding me of John Cena and Batista's little... No, not... But wait, Batista, or was it Big Show? Oh, wait, it was Big Show, where they used duct tape, since John Cena can't really reach out since he's not tall enough to a submission match. Though it's not as overtly cartoony as the Batista... John Cena match. That was a little too cartoony, for me at least. And he then releases a missile drop kick, and then Taz's team, Hook and Ricky Starks, interfere to try and help Brian Cage get the victory before Darby Allin could get the fall in. But then all of a sudden, and the lights go out. It's dark and quiet. And then it's Sting! Sting arrives to save the day, knocking out Starks and Hook retreats and runs to the top of the hills. Cage goes up top, but Darby reverses it into a crucifix pin for the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. And Darby Allin retains thanks to the help with Sting. But there is something else about that finish. Now, some people I saw on Twitter were mad, like, why didn't Darby use the coffin drop? Or why did he beat him with a crucifix pin? Well, that's the thing. There was a reason for it. I did not know this at the time. I had completely blacked out from it, and I wasn't watching Dynamite during the quiet stuff going on because it was depressing to watch, since we're in a pandemic and there's no crowds. But there was a reason why. So when the first encounter between Darby Allin and Brian Cage happened all those years ago, Darby Allin and tried to pin Cody with a crucifix and couldn't hold it, getting pinned himself by Cody Rhodes. Then Taz comes to him afterwards, was interviewing Darby Allin, and tried to tell him, "Oh, you did wrong with the move," offering us some coaching advice. And Darby Allin walked away saying, "I know what I did wrong." You didn't need to hear it, which pissed off Taz, and we got the story with Darby Allin and Team Taz. And now, this is where the thing gets interesting. He beat Taz's client with the crucifix pin correctly, showing Taz he didn't know what he did wrong and did it right this time, picking up the win and spiting Taz. I showed this to some people when I found it on Reddit, when someone pointed that out, like, wait, this is actually a callback. And I was like, deep! And one of my buddies, Elitist Era, said, "Oh wow, AEW sells storytelling is elite." Hey, this is why I love this promotion. Like, everyone was happy to hear that, to see that this realization that, oh, this was a callback. The ending was a callback to the original Cody Darby Allin matches, where Cody beat him due to messed up with a crucifix pen, and Darby got the victory finally, spiting Taz, beating Brian Cage with a crucifix pinfall. Yes. So it was actually pretty ingenious they did that, like a callback, like a completion of that storytelling in order to, bite at by the biting of the hand of Taz, realizing that Taz's attempt to advise him ultimately cost Brian Cage the victory. Which, if they move forward with that, and they reveal that Taz giving advice and Darby Allin wanting to find a way to hurt Taz while actually hurting him because he's not a wrestler, yeah, that likely would have pissed someone off. That would likely piss Brian Cage off, like, you encourage this or some bullshit. But yeah, I was like, oh wow, that's actually pretty good. That AEW, this is why I love this. Honestly, to me, embodies a little bit of the AEW style, where they have all this stuff built up from a year ago, and it's like, let's take our time with it, let's get the callbacks ready when we get to it, and then bam, they get the callback done right, and we are set to go on that. It's honestly quite amazing in my opinion, and it makes me remember why. It reminds me why I'm such a huge fan uh, why I'm such a huge fan of of Darby Allin and a fan of AEW, because they like to play with the continuity. They like to make callbacks to past storylines and build ups to stuff that ultimately pays off in the end. Whereas Lana was supposed to have a payoff, and then Charlotte Flair came back. I'm still mad about that because it just comes off as bad. Yeah. So yeah, that was it. That's about it for Darby Allin and Brian Cage. It was a quality matchup. It was the payoff to a year storyline that started the Team Taz Darby Allin feud. It's honestly a great way to end the show and the New Year Smash Part Night 2 event. So I'm satisfied with this match. Like, would it have been interesting if Brian Cage won? Yeah, they seem to give the big guys, the monster powerhouses, a little odd, but Brian Cage honestly looked like a beast in this. I was like, yeah, if he went up against Brock Lesnar, I'm pretty sure it would have been an awesome match. But well, that's it. That's WWE, and Brock Lesnar has to be motivated, so he has to have Brian Cage's good side on that. He has to be on. He has to be Brian Cage has to be on Lesnar's good side for that to happen. So, yeah, yeah. So that was hilarious and everything. But those were Neo Reality Entertainment's the WrestleVerse thoughts on Darby Allin versus Brian Cage at New Year's Smash AEW Dynamite. Hey, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other channels in the description below. Oh, and stay tuned for more. See you all next time. Peace out.